We're here today with Trevor Sargent, a fellow beekeeper and former Minister of Food and Horticulture.
Thank you,
Trevor,
Claire.
thanks for meeting us today.
Welcome.
And you're in Gormanstown.
Once again,
Having opened Gormanstown for the last 3 years, you're back again for more.
absolutely. Well, I just love this place, particularly the gathering of beekeepers. I often regretted when I was Minister that I wasn't able to stay for the whole week. Now, at least not being Minister, I have a little bit more control over my diary, and I have boxed off a few sessions so that I can be back each day pretty much to pick up new information, as I am a novice, enthusiastic, energetic beekeeper now myself.
But I believe you've actually managed to get some hives of your own.
Well, yes. In fairness, Jim Donoghue in Westmeath put it to me when I was opening a self-sufficiency fair in Belvedere House one year that, seeing as I was talking the talk, it was time for me to walk the walk.
Absolutely.
So there he gave me a suit to try. It fitted well, and I haven't looked back really. So he encouraged me to make the trip from Balbriggan, which is home, to Mullingar every couple of Sundays, and I'd be down there, and it's fantastic learning experience with the Midland beekeepers, because they have done it for years, and the bee breeding group down in Belvedere is really setting a huge, very high standard. So I really felt I was learning. I wouldn't say at the master's knee, but certainly around people who knew about beekeeping. And so before long, TG Carr came to me asking could they do a bit of recording in my garden. I have this website, trevorskitchengarden.ie, there's a plug. So I put it to them that would they be interested in bees and hives, and they of course said yes. So then Jim brought me up a hive, and before long that was 2 hives, so now I've got 2. And it's in an orchard of a good friend of mine, and she's delighted to have bees because my garden's a bit too small.
Absolutely, and bees are all important, as we all know, for pollination, so you're doing her a favour in return.
Well, that's what she says, and I'm delighted to be doing. It's a win-win for everybody, really. And the one thing that I've noticed, because it's pretty much in the area of the town, and it's not disturbing anybody, everything seems fine, but it is still, I think, something that has to be said more often, is that most beekeeping, in my experience, is happening in fairly urban situations. And it's one of those, as I think it's probably the worst kept secret in beekeeping, but nonetheless, on the jars of honey, you will not see number 105, cedar lawns in some suburban housing estate. You'll see a townland, or you see some rustic sounding address. But I think quite a number of those are quite urban in their setting. And I would encourage people maybe get the opportunity to say, listen, I keep my bees in an urban situation, because having been, and I know you've been travelling and I've been doing a bit of travelling, and you can see in other cities and towns bees being kept on rooftops and in various places which you wouldn't have expected years ago to see bees, and that all helps the pollination and helps the bees, because farming has changed. And I know, having been in the Department of Agriculture, and I'm still in Agriculture House, so I'm still very much behind the legislation that's going to help beekeeping, the updating of the 1908 Bee Disease Act. I mean, that's all going on at the moment as well in government, so I'm still very involved. But I do also think that farming has changed to the detriment of beekeeping in ways. There's a lot more monoculture, there's a lot less of the diversity that came with orchards, for example, are being grubbed up. There's less of the environment that bees would need and appreciate. So the urban oasis, if you like, of gardens, which are being planted probably more for cosmetic reasons, to have something to see in floral displays throughout the year, as it so happens, is exactly what bees need. So I think there's a need to highlight that, and I know the experience in Canada, where I was, in America, in England, now points to the fact that this is normal, right? And in Ireland, I think we need to embrace the the urban beekeeper as we have the rural beekeeper for so long.
Certainly with our urban sprawl, it makes sense. Absolutely.
Absolutely.